Hello and welcome to the Wheel of Crime podcast. This podcast is ran by two ladies who play games, mumble profanities, and laugh way too often. Also, this podcast does cover topics of sensitive nature, and as such, listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome again to another summery day and another episode of the Wheel of Crime podcast. My name is Jen.
And my name is Emily. Yes, welcome back, everyone. It's been fun, soaking up that vitamin D, getting D'd down by the sun, getting dicked down by the sun every day, just how I want it.
I do genuinely hate being like hot, so like the summer's not great for me. But I'm really trying to enjoy it this year. Like, I'm doing my best,
Yeah, I've been trying to do more because I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I do not like it being too cold or too hot. I would prefer it to be a nice middle temperature with maybe a cool breeze blowing through.
1,000,000%.
Would be nice. But I have really been, because here's the thing. I feel like the winter, you can't get away from it, right? Like, it's just inflicted on you constantly because you have to leave your house eventually to go get groceries and do other important things. So my thought is, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to spend more time outside this year. So I really feel like I appreciated the summer while I was here. So then when it's the winter time, I can appreciate it more. Like, I can't just sit there and be like, oh, I wish I had enjoyed the summertime. Instead, I can be like, well.
Right? I know. See, I love fall, so I feel like I'm always like, oh, I just want it to be fall. But I'm kind of like, I feel like this year, I maybe it's just because last year was kind of a hard year, but I'm like, no, I just need to enjoy the summer for what it is, because it'll be fall and then it'll be fucking winter again, and I hate winter.
It never gets better. I hate it always, every day. Actually, I think about winter and how much I hate it. Yeah. So I'm trying to, like I said, to get dicked down by the sun every day. I've been taking my coffee outside, which has actually been really nice.
For you.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something about just sitting outside and listening to my cat scream at me while looking at sunlight that it fills my cup. Not my actual cup, but
I don't know. Maybe it's just the part of Calgary that I live in, because I live in the south part now. Mm-hmm. There is too many fucking spiders on my deck, and it just like I see them everywhere, and it just kind of gives me the ick, so I can't sit outside on my deck and enjoy it because I'm just like fucking terrified.
I have a hack for you if you're willing to spend the money on it.
I'm willing to spend any amount of money. What is it?
Here's the thing. I have the same problem because I live in the country, and nature is everywhere in all of its forms. And
I don't want that.
Yeah, I also hate the fact that, so with my house, for whatever reason, because I live in a community, the one public light is literally right outside my window, right? For the walking path. So spiders are smart, and they'll be like, ooh, moths and other insects want to hang up by light sources, so they always make a bunch of spider webs right literally in front of my front door to try and catch bugs. So what I did is I went onto Amazon, and I found something called a pest deterrent device, and it is a plug-in for your wall. And they come in 2-packs, and what it does is it emits a super high frequency that keeps mice, spiders, wasps, and other insects away from. It's like something like within like a 16-foot radius of the device or something like that.
Oh. Okay, please send me the link immediately.
It works. I've tested it. I've had it plugged outside now for the last 2 weeks, and other than like the occasional spider making like a singular web outside, compared to what we had last year, there's like nothing.
Well, please immediately send me the link, because I will be buying it right now.
Yeah, if you put one like outside your door and then one on the inside, just so it keeps them away from like say being like, too noisy and running inside your home. If you have one outside and one inside where the door is, it keeps them all away. It keeps them out of your house too.
Phenomenal.
I
would love that.
Cool. I will send you the link once we're done the show here, because I like promise you it works. Like, I was shocked. Even like my husband, he's like, it's been like weird, like how there's been like so few bugs inside of our house, and I'm like, crazy, isn't it?
That's so weird.
That's It's revenge. Yes, so I will send that to you later because, yeah, and you can finally sit outside and take your coffee because it does. It betters your mood. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, there's too many fucking, and they're big and ugly, and I just can't look at them.
This will help. This helps a lot. And then I also, what I did too, is I also got a air diffuser. That's also a bug deterrent just for when I'm sitting outside in the evenings, because I've noticed the evenings are sometimes a little bit more buggy, and it seems to help a lot too for that.
Send me the link for both of those things, because I will be immediately purchasing so I can enjoy the rest of the summer.
I got you, bitch, because...
we should have talked sooner.
Literally. Well, because too... well, it's funny because, so it works, right? So it keeps bugs out of my house and it keeps them away from the front door and everything. I will say, though, I did have a creepy experience, though, where there's there's a range, right? And you're not supposed to plug it in front of, curtains or anything. So the one inside of our house is plugged in behind a curtain, which is fine. It just says that you don't get the full range of deterrency when that happens. So instead of, the 16 feet or whatever it is, you get, half of that. So I was like, okay,
right.
Sure, whatever, it's by the front door. I don't care anyways. I should have cared more because I immediately moved it to a better area because this morning my husband was taking a meeting in the living room and he saw a tick on our wall.
Oh no.
I know. And oh my gosh, talk about my timbers being shivered. I was like, ah! I fully lost my marbles. And so he had to get in there with a Kleenex. It sensed him moving near it and did that thing that ticks do where they drop and crawl.
Ooh.
Yeah, trying to look for whatever animal it is that passed by so they could get their juicy juice. And I was like, fuck that noise. I stood literally 5 feet away with a flashlight trying to help him look for this thing. And he got it. He flushed it. And now I've moved that device to a better area. So hopefully that won't happen again. But yeah, so there's your lesson.
Gotta make sure you check the kitties to make sure they're okay.
I know. I was going to do that later tonight, I think, just in case there's more than one. I'm hoping it was just the one, but now I'm worried, you know?
Oh, I hate ticks. They're so gross.
I, thankfully, as far as I'm aware, I've never been bitten by one, but I think about it constantly. I think about it nonstop.
I've never seen one in person, but the thought of seeing one in person sends shivers down my spine.
It literally just
I'm irrationally afraid of this tiny bug.
It's not even irrational, though, because then you end up with,
fucking Lyme disease.
Fucking Lyme disease, right? And we live in a place where they're supposed to be everywhere. Because, I went to a rodeo with my family, 2 months ago, and I had to pee so bad. So my dad pulls off on the side of the road or whatever. So me and all of us other women, obviously, because that's how it happens, all have to go pee. And everywhere's just tall grass. And I'm peeing, and all I can think about is, great, this is how I end up with a tick on my asshole. You know? Peeing on the way to a rodeo. Awesome. I'm so fucking happy right now. And I was just so scared. I was like, great, now I've got ticks all over my butthole.
They're in my coach.
Yep, in my cooch, in my underpants, and now I'm on the way to the rodeo with a bunch of ticks in my underwear. What am I gonna do? It's just so scary. I can't not think about it.
Terrifying. That's why I will never go to, never, not never, but that's why I have not yet gone to Winnipeg or Manitoba.
Yeah. With some of those places where they have lots and lots and lots of them. Exactly, right?
Avoid.
But anyways, so that's how my last week's been going.
Amazing. It's been not that eventful, just working and living my life.
Living your dreams. Well, that's good. I know you're going to be, I can tell you what you're doing next week, because once I send you that link, you're going to be having your coffee outside, and you're going to be like a brand new bitch.
I'm going to be a balcony babe.
A
balcony princess.
Oh my god. I can't wait. You should get a sign and hang it out front. I'm a balcony babe.
I'm a balcony bitch.
Balcony bitch. Alright, well, I will spin the wheel of questions so we can get this show on the road.
Hold up.
Oh, okay.
We're doing things a little differently today.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
Uh-oh. What are we doing?
We're not spinning for questions today. Today, we are going to spin for conspiracy theories, and we are going to rank them.
Ooh, okay.
We're having a yappy episode today.
I do love to yap, so I'm in. I'm in.
So I have sent Emily a tier ranking system.
Okay.
And I will explain it to everyone who is listening right now, including Emily. So, at the top of the ranking system, it's actually iconic. So, think like the birds are government spies. Like an iconic conspiracy theory. Like something that's like kind of funny, but like we love it, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
In A tier, we're going to go with could be true, you know? Princess Di was murdered by the royal family. Something that has like a little, you know, we can't necessarily prove it, but it's got a tinge of truth there.
Yeah. Okay.
So in B tier, we're going to go with something, this is boring. This is the Mandela effect. Heard it. It's like whatever.
It's tired.
I don't know if I believe it or not, but it's put her to bed.
Yep. Okay.
Tier C, we're standing on the edge of the cliff. Like we're about to go off the deep end, but we're not quite there yet. You know, we're all living in a simulation. We are Sims.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Like almost crazy. Getting there. It feels a little crazy, but you're still like, well, okay.
You're teetering off the edge of reality. You know, like we're really on that edge of the cliff.
Okay.
And then the final tier is tier D. It's going to be you've fallen off the cliff and straight into the deep end. Think flat earth.
Fair.
You've fallen off of the flat earth.
You fell off the edge of the flat earth.
Yes, 1000%. All right. So when you're ready, spin a number between 1 and 7, and we'll go through our conspiracy theories.
All right, let's do it. 2.
All right. The movie Frozen is a cover-up for cryogenics. So this theory is this theory is technically 2 conspiracy theories wrapped up into one. So the first part of this conspiracy theory is that Walt Disney, obviously the founder of Disney, arranged to have himself frozen in a cryogenic chamber full of liquid nitrogen upon his death. The claim is that he is frozen and buried in an undisclosed location, the most popular rumor being under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland in Anaheim, California.
Under what
ride?
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, people think that's where he is.
I just wanted to check. Okay.
So Walt died on December 15th, 1966 of complications related to a surgery he had undergone for lung cancer. He had a small and private funeral that occurred on December 16th and only family attended. So people think that because it wasn't this like big public thing that, you know, he could possibly just really be under Pirates of the Caribbean. But there's like a couple of main reasons why people believe this. So I'm going to get into those.
Okay, love to hear it.
So one reason is because of there's 2 biographies that were written about Walt after his death. The first was in 1986, Disney's World by Leonard Mosley, and the second was 1993's Walt Disney, Hollywood's Dark Prince by Mark Elliott. Both of these works cited Walt's interest in cryogenics, but have since been widely discredited for their speculative nature and lack of citation. Another reason is because cryogenics were just beginning to hit the radars of the average American household around the time of Walt's death. The magazine Icy Paris actually published the rumor in 1969, stating that it had come from a group of animators who had been enjoying a private joke that somehow went public. In addition, Bob Nelson, the president of the California Cryogenics Society, gave an interview in 1972 saying that Disney wasn't frozen, but that he had wanted to be. He said, quote, "The truth is, Walt missed out. He never specified in writing, and when he died, the family didn't go for it. They had him cremated. I personally have seen his ashes. They are in Forest Lawn. 2 weeks later, we froze the first man. So Bob was a TV repairman before becoming the president of the society the same year that Walt died. Likely, he said these things in an attempt to grab attention for his business without making a statement that could be completely discredited. And so now to loop in the second part of the conspiracy theory, which is that the Walt Disney Company created the movie Frozen to alter Google's search algorithms so that people looked up some variation of Disney Frozen, information about the movie would come up and not about Walt Disney himself being cryogenically frozen. So, how would you rank this theory?
Okay, can we first rank ourselves on how likely we are to believe in something? Because here's the thing. if this is your first episode of ours, this is what you need to know about me, okay? I like the idea of stuff. I don't necessarily believe in everything I hear, ghost, cryptid, what myth, what have you, okay? Mm-hmm. But I would say I believe more in certain things than Jen typically does. Like, Jen's the more practical side of the podcast.
I feel like I am way more of a skeptic than you are.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, if it's a scale from, 0 to 100, and 100's, fully believe and 0's don't believe, I would be at, probably a 10. And Emily's probably at, a 60 or 70.
I'd say that's pretty fair.
Fairly different in what we believe. So, now that we've kind of established where we stand on the scale, how would you rank this in our tier system?
Well, here's the thing. The whole being okay, Disney named it Frozen. So people would stop searching Disney being cryogenically frozen. Do I think that could happen? Maybe.
I feel like that's the more likely part of this conspiracy theory, that they were okay, we want this to go away, so let's change the search results.
Yeah, that I could see. I could also see him maybe when he was still alive being oh, it'd be cool to be cryogenically frozen or something. I could see somebody saying that, wouldn't it be cool if I could just freeze myself and live forever, But, as for him actually being frozen and under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, I don't think that happened.
Yeah, so I think for me, I would rank he's under Pirates of the Caribbean in it's on the edge of the cliff, C tier.
Yeah.
And the Frozen part of it, they named the movie Frozen to get rid of the search result. I would put that in tier A. That could be true for me.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I would honestly rank it the same way, because I could see them being this is something people are talking about a lot. We don't really want people associating Disney with this crazy theory. Let's just, hey, we're making this movie where it's about girls in a land where it's winter and stuff. Let's just name it Frozen. That to me, sure, makes the most sense of everything that you just said. Being frozen under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride? I don't think that happened. That is teetering off the edge of reality for me. So I'm gonna say this is an A tier / a C tier.
Amazing. Okay. We'll also put up a screenshot of the tier system on our Instagram if you're a visual person and you want to see kind of where things are going for us.
Yes, exactly. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's spin for our next little topic here.
Yes.
Okay, we've got 5.
All right. Vampires and cannibals in the royal family.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, according to genealogy records...
The royal family being England, yes?
Yes. The British royal family.
Okay.
So, according to genealogy records, Prince Charles is believed to be the descendant of Vlad the Impaler. This lineage...
Sorry, continue.
This lineage which can be traced back through Charles's great-grandmother, Queen Mary, and Vlad the Seventh, the half-brother of the inspiration behind Dracula. The prince is, in fact, a great-grandson of 16 times removed to Vlad Tepes. Prince Charles has even appeared in a promotional video for the Romanian National Tourist Office. His connection to the notorious ruler isn't enough. Porphyria, an iron deficiency that makes the skin sensitive to sunlight, is also present amongst the royals. To top it all off, while some think that Prince Charles feasts on blood, others believe that Queen Elizabeth II was, because she's deceased now, a cannibal. In 2012, a serviceman at the Windsor Castle claimed to discover human remains inside the Queen's private freezer.
Ooh, I have not heard that one before.
For me, this is like a no-brainer. This is actually iconic. Like, I love this. I want this to be true.
That was hilarious. You're right, obviously. Iconic. I just never heard of somebody being like, yeah, there's a body in Queen Elizabeth's freezer before. That one's new for me. I've never heard that before.
I feel like you might have to look it up because it's an interesting... I feel like it got discredited probably, but like...
Well,
I feel like that's a whole can of worms on its own.
It is, because I know... See, I haven't covered this specifically just because I know it's a theory, and usually theories don't make for good stories. But I know a lot of people think that when she did like a tour across Canada at some point, and a bunch of like First Nations kids went missing, or kids in general went missing, and people kept being like, she's a cannibal, she's eating the children. So I remember that being a thing.
I feel like it further puts it in the iconic category for me.
Yeah, as for like, here's the thing. As far as vampires go and about them being pale, they might just be English. Then that's why they're pale. Number one. Number two. So I'm just going to backtrack in my brain here. So the theory is that because her great-grandmother, or his great-grandmother at some point, was related to the half-brother of Vlad the Impaler, that makes them vampires, is already...
Yeah, because Vlad the Impaler was the inspiration behind Dracula.
Yeah, but he was the inspiration because he went around killing a bunch of people, not because he was sucking anybody's blood.
You don't know for sure, Emily.
I wasn't there. You're right. Okay, yeah, I'm not to piggyback off of you, but I'm also gonna say this is actually iconic, but also we don't have a tier for this. Do we have a tier for forcing something to sound true?
I mean,
because it's not on the edge of the cliff. It's not you've fallen off the cliff. It's not boring. It's not anywhere close to being true. It's like somebody heard something and they're like, this could be true in another universe. I'm gonna pretend that it is.
See, that's why I feel like if that's how you feel, iconic. It's C tier, because that's like being on the edge of the cliff. Like, something is so not true, but you're convincing yourself that there's evidence.
Yeah, I'm going to say iconic, but also I'm going to give a 0.5 to on the edge of the cliff. Just because I feel like as soon as you start talking about anybody's great-great-grandmother's half-brother, I'm like, hey, listen. Have we seen his fingernails is my first question. If not, I don't want to hear about it.
All right, well, let's spin for our next theory.
Okay. Four.
Ooh, another royal family one. Okay. Young Cook is Princess Diana reincarnated.
Huh? I honestly thought going into this I was going to hear a bunch of stuff that I've heard before. I've heard none of these conspiracies before. Like, not even once. Like, sure, Kate, the Disney him being frozen thing, once maybe. Nothing about the Pirates of the Caribbean, though, or any of this other stuff. Like, this is all so fresh for me.
I really looked hard to find, like, the craziest, weirdest ones I could find.
Perfect. Okay. Because, yeah.
So,
this is new for me.
I love, okay? I heard this one and I was like, I have to, like, this one was why I wanted to make this episode.
For real?
For real. Because this theory is hilarious to me. So, the Korean pop band BTS has been subject to many strange rumors over the years. As someone who is friends with a BTS stan, I have heard at least a few of them. And my favorite one that I've ever heard about BTS is about Jungkook, who's the youngest of the 7 members of BTS. It's a lighthearted belief among some in the BTS army that Jungkook is Princess Diana reincarnated. Some within the fandom say that Jungkook is on his first life because of his innocent and heartfelt reactions to things like finding bugs or being awed by fireworks. However, former Twitter user BLKER Bangtan spun this theory on its head, saying that in April 2021, when she tweeted a thread about her theory that Jungkook is actually on his second life and that he is the reincarnation of the people's favorite princess. That Twitter user has since left the platform, but other armies have picked up where she left off and continue to add evidence to the theory. So it's kind of there's a lot. So here's the Cliff Notes version of why some people believe this. So Princess Diana was killed in a car crash, as we know, on the early hours of August 31st, 1997. Jungkook was born in Busan, Korea, just one day later on September 1st, 1997. They were both born in the year of the ox, according to the Chinese zodiac. Other armies pointed out that if you run Jungkook's natal chart with his publicly available birth information, his birth date in Busan at 3:23 a.m. Korean Standard Time, his sun sign is Virgo, is in his 12th house, which astrologically points to being a royal in the past life.
Okay.
Some stans have also pointed out physical similarities between the two celebrities to support the theory. Princess Di and Jungkook are both 5'10". Their expressive eyes are the most noticeable feature on their faces. Jungkook has also been photographed in multiple outfits that were similar to what Princess Di wore when she was alive. They have similar quote-unquote bunny-like smiles and matching moles on their collarbones. Jungkook also has a tattoo on his right index finger of a crown. There are similar coincidences linking Princess Di and Jungkook as well. Both are introverts, often hid their eyes behind hair when dealing with paparazzi. They have both been described as naturally athletic. Princess Diana and Jungkook also share an ISTP, which is the personality type in Myers-Briggs indicator, until Jungkook later retook the test in 2022, but that first test, they were the same.
Yes.
So according to Princess Di's former dance partner Wayne Sleep, the princess loved to do the quote-unquote washing up to take a break from royal life. Jungkook shares the same passion for cleanliness. He's one of 2 neat freaks in BTS and has done multiple household chores, including washing the dishes and doing his laundry while on Weverse live streams while he chats with fans. One of my favorite coincidences, this is hilarious, by the way, is that Jungkook is allegedly afraid of microwaves, and Princess Diana almost set fire to Kensington Palace with a microwave.
Yeah.
So, now, the biggest tie between Jungkook and Princess Diana, outside of his birthday, is their mutual love for giving back. Diana was the people's princess, renowned for her charity work and wanting to help suffering everyday people. BTS as a group has donated to many humanitarian causes. Jungkook specifically made headlines for recently donating 1 billion won, which is like 758,000 USD, to the Seoul National University Children's Hospital after Korean government slashed the hospital's funding. And now, for a little bit of context, the number 7 is really significant within the fandom. There's 7 members, and it's a whole thing. Mm-hmm. So Queen Elizabeth II died on September 8th, 2022, which was coincidentally 7 days after Jungkook's birthday, which also marked 25 years after Princess Diana's death. As some philosophers theorized, every 25 years, a reincarnated spirit is allowed a 7-day window to fulfill an old desire. To some, this might indicate that Lady Di's spirit, reincarnated in Jungkook, had something to do with Queen Elizabeth's passing. Also, BTS was doing a live stream the day of her death, and Jungkook, who was usually very engaged and like silly and whatever, seemed way more quiet than usual. So he might have had something to do with the queen dying.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that is a theory.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna give this a D tier, which for review is you've fallen off the cliff into the deep end because, excuse me? What did you just tell me? I am never. Here's the thing. There are so many things that are maybe a coincidence is just a coincidence sometimes. You know?
Listen, he might be scared of microwaves, and she might have set fire to a microwave once.
But that doesn't mean she was scared of them. That just means she lit it on fire. Like, what? What are we talking about? And then, as soon as, but here's the thing. As soon as people start getting into things like astrology and numerology and trying to make that match up with certain things that are going on in life, especially, anything to do with, celebrities or stuff like that, I'm like, for all I know, maybe I currently am the reincarnation of Henry Cavill or something. You know what I mean? What are we
he's
talking
still alive,
about?
But...
Well, Princess Diana could be alive too, depending on the conspiracy theories we talked about. What was it, a year or two ago? Or fine, I could be the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. You know, let's just put those charts up and see what compares. What are we talking about?
Honestly, I hate to do it twice, but this just goes in S tier. Actually, iconic for me. I love this theory. I think it's iconic. I want this to be true.
I think it's hilarious, but it's so appalling to me. I have to put it at flat earth theory.
I love Taylor Swift. So, as somebody who dabbles in the fandom, when people start bringing out math and numbers, I'm like, okay, I know this is about to be unhinged.
But does anybody
and that's what
think
this
that
is
Taylor
giving
Swift is the reincarnation of somebody?
No, I have a Taylor Swift theory on this list, so we'll get to that later.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think so.
D tier for you.
Also, I just want to preface quick. When you said Jungkook, I thought you were saying young cook, as in a young cook was the reincarnation of Princess Diana, and I was already like, this is crazy, and it only just got crazier, weirdly enough. Yeah, I don't think that's true. And if you're gonna look at me through your phone, staring at this podcast cover on Spotify or whatever it is, and be like, but the coincidences, it all lines up, I don't care.
Oh, I love it, honestly. But okay, let's spin for our next theory.
Okay. 7.
Oh, okay. We're on to the Taylor Swift theory.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay. Taylor Swift is a secret 4chan user.
Huh? Okay.
So, Reported by the Huffington Post in 2013, the publication claimed that then 23-year-old Taylor Swift was using the anonymous message board website 4chan. Users on the site said that they uncovered a celebrity lurking amongst them. At the time, Taylor was said to be an active user on the website, and users compiled evidence proving it. Some of the evidence was that the user they assumed was Taylor claimed they were, quote, one of the 50 most famous people on the planet. The user said that they were famous for being an entertainer, and these clues have gathered to support the theory. So number 1. In November 2011, a user asked 4chan to name their cat, with one suggestion being Meredith. A day later, Taylor Swift debuted her new kitten, coincidentally also named Meredith.
But I feel like, if I'm getting my timelines correct here, just quickly, wasn't Grey's Anatomy also like a big thing back then where the main character
Yes.
literally named Meredith?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Number 2. Faces very similar to Taylor's have shown up on 4chan, with users going so far as to compare backgrounds featured in the pictures on 4chan and other photos uploaded by Taylor on her personal social media accounts. Number 3. A user on the infamous b/forum on 4chan claims they once spoke to a musician on Omegle who said her name was Taylor and said that she was on 4chan. Number 4. A 4chan user posted, quote, nothing like a freezing cold wintry beach, the same day that Taylor posted the same thing to Twitter. So those are the very hard-hitting evidence. And of course, this isn't exactly one of the most... These pieces of evidence aren't the most compelling. And it's more likely to be a regular person crafting the illusion of being Taylor by taking photos from her social media and some sly Photoshop. 4chan's founder, Christopher Poole, aka Moot, told the forum to stop talking about it, saying that the photos can all be found online and that the screenshots are photoshopped. He added that the photos are posted from an IP that is definitely not her. However, some users, that wasn't enough to dissuade them. They claimed that Christopher was money hungry because Taylor is rich, that she was able to pay him off in order to help keep her anonymous.
Oh, okay.
And that is the theory, that Taylor Swift is a 4chan user.
I'm gonna go with A tier, but also B tier, which is, so it could be true, but it's also kind of boring.
I'm going with B tier for this one because I'm like, that's boring. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, I get it. Like, celebrities are obviously people too, and we all coexist right now, like in the here and now of today's society. They do probably engage in blogging websites and other random things that people like to use. I see that, right? So could she have been on 4chan and was just having a silly little moment on the internet? Maybe she could have. Maybe she could have been having a silly little moment on, like, whatever else people were using at the time, like The Chive or whatever, you know?
Well, she was, like, very active, I know, on Tumblr at the time, like, very publicly, though. Like,
right? Like, stuff like that. So maybe, so it could be true, also could not be true. It could be somebody pretending to be her, you know? But at the same time, it's just not that interesting. It's like, okay, who cares if Taylor Swift is using 4chan?
But also, I feel like if you were a celebrity who was on there to be anonymous, you wouldn't give so many clues so that people could immediately uncover it, you know?
Yeah, because that wouldn't be fun for you, you know? Like, I could actually see it be... Here's my thing. I could see somebody posting on 4chan who maybe is friends with Taylor or was all, like, working on, like, a team for Taylor and thought, how funny would it be if they pretended to be Taylor on 4chan and then dropped clues? Like, I could see somebody trolling that kind of information.
Or just like a fan trolling for attention.
Right? Or something like that. I don't know. To me, yeah, I don't know. That one's kind of meh to me.
All right, let's spin for our next theory.
Yes. You're going to love this. The pin just flew off the wheel of crime.
Oh, no.
We'll figure it out. I think that's supposed to be a 1.
Okay. The phantom time conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Have you heard of this one? I feel like this is the one I thought you might have heard of.
Time. It doesn't ring a bell right now.
Okay. So the phantom time hypothesis is a historical conspiracy theory asserted by Heribert Illig, a German publisher and amateur historian who gained attention following the publication of his controversial 1996 bestseller, The Invented Middle Ages, The Greatest Time Falsification in History. During his investigation, he compared the dating of the Julian calendar implemented by Julius Caesar in 45 BC to that of the currently used Gregorian calendar introduced by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582 AD. He claims that by his calculations, some 297 years appear to be missing, but Heribert doesn't stop there. He then argues that these missing years were secretly added as a part of a plot hatched by Pope Sylvester II and Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, living during the 8th century AD. These medieval elites allegedly wanted to speed up time so that their respective reigns would correspond within the year 1000, exactly 1 millennium after the birth of Jesus Christ. To hide their tinkering from future generations, Otto and Sylvester employed scribes to create and copy medieval manuscripts detailing fictitious events and individuals. After being distributed to monasteries and libraries across Europe, these manuscripts would be mistaken for actual history. Among their fabrications, Heribert asserts that were such famous historical figures as Charlemagne, King of the Franks, and the so-called founder of Europe, and Alfred the Great, the King of England who drove off the Vikings. So he's like, none of those people existed. They were all made up.
Okay.
So Heribert isn't the only writer to call the Middle Ages an invention, though. His Eurocentric version of the phantom time hypothesis exists alongside a Russocentric one, propagated by Moscow State University mathematics professor Anatoly Fomenko. It asserts that classical Greece, Imperial Rome, dynastic China, and pharaonic Egypt and other ancient societies actually existed during the Middle Ages, and that civilization didn't get going until 800 AD. Anatoly adjusted the calendar, creates an equally warped version of the past, one in which the New Testament was written before the Old. The Trojan War and the Crusades were the same conflict, and Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun were the same person. So, like most lies, the phantom time hypothesis contains a small kernel of truth. For instance, the vast majority of early medieval manuscripts are copies of lost originals, casting doubt on some of their exact details. It's also true that the European calendar has been revised on multiple occasions, many with a mathematically inclined monk tramping through a theological minefield to find the appropriate dates for Christmas, Easter, and other religious holidays. Finally, it's true that much of history, particularly ancient and medieval history, were written by victors. All historical accounts must be studied with a healthy dose of scrutiny and skepticism, calendars included, but the phantom time hypothesis falls apart the moment that you take a closer look. While the European continent may not have many original manuscripts from the early Middle Ages, documents and artifacts from Asia, Africa, Australasia, and the Americas provide overwhelming proof that these missing centuries did indeed happen. Evidence of the missing centuries can also be found in nature. Tree rings chronicle the passage of time, and ancient and medieval documentations of astronomical events like solar eclipses show that their observers lived in different time periods.
Yeah, I've
so
never
what do you
heard
think?
this before.
Middle Ages are a lie, or do you believe that they happened?
So, here's the thing. Can I give a 0.5? I want to give it like a half. Like literally half of an A tier. because I could see somebody maybe trying to get away with this and maybe starting to create stories, and then they die and everybody's like, yeah, that's not true. This actually happened. Like, I could see that maybe happening, but I'm gonna go with the 0.5 of that just not being true at all also, because, like, it's like you said at the end, if you have corroborations literally from other countries that certain things did actually happen, you can't just, like, be like, the Middle Ages don't exist, but also they existed everywhere else but Europe. Huh? What?
I feel like I can understand why someone might be skeptical or could like, I can see why someone could on first glance believe this.
Mm-hmm.
But once I feel like you start getting into it a little bit, you're like, okay, that's just, like, not plausible. So for me, this is tier D. Like, you're off the cliff. You're in the deep end. The Middle Ages, I'm pretty sure, happened.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, that makes more sense now that you say it like that. Like, for the ranking system. Yeah, if you're somebody who believes the Middle Ages don't exist, that you're... they happened. Sorry.
Like, I could see, from first glance of, like, hearing this, of, like, someone being like, oh, well, like, I think this, like, Pope and this Emperor made up a bunch of shit to make their reign seem better. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll hear you out. But then once they start getting into the meat of it, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
That's why I'm like point A, like half A, half D. Because, yeah, sure, could I see somebody maybe, like, had a boring kingship or something, and they're like, nah, my descendants need to think I was really fucking cool, and they made up a bunch of stuff, sure. Probably.
I'm sure it did happen. I'm sure people have made shit up.
Yeah, obviously. Whereas, like, as far as the rest of it goes, where it's like the Middle Ages didn't exist, I'm like, well, that's kind of not true, but nice try.
Okay, we're going a little farther.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too. It's like, okay, so not only is it corroborated by other countries, but, like, we literally have artifacts and buildings that are dated to that time period. Are you going to look me in my eyes and be like, that doesn't exist? That's made by the government. Like, what are you talking about?
The birds made it. The government spy birds made it.
The government spy birds made the Middle Ages.
Exactly.
Insanity. All right. Do I spin for our next theory?
Yeah, I think we have 1...
2 by my list.
2. Yeah, do we have 2 left?
Yes. Okay. 6.
Okay. Well, this is a good one.
Oh, okay. I thought they were
Finland,
all pretty good, but...
Finland doesn't exist.
I mean, that's true. We know that.
It's like Manitoba.
Okay.
So, thanks to a Reddit thread, there is a conspiracy theory that Finland is a fictitious landmass concocted by the Japanese and the Soviet Union during the Cold War in an effort to secure fishing rights in the Baltic Sea. Reddit users Raregans suggest Finland's population is actually made up of people from eastern Sweden, northern Estonia, and western Russia. Where this theory likely began as a joke, it quickly gained traction online and expanded into claims like the fish that are caught in quote-unquote Finland are shipped via Trans-Siberian Railway to Japan under the disguise of Nokia products, which just sounds a little racist to me. To those that believe this theory, the railway and Nokia were created for this sole purpose.
That's a lot of stuff to do to try to make up that Finland is fake. I don't think Russia built a railway and was like, this will really convince people that Finland is real. What? Especially in today's day and age. Okay, if today's day and age you were looking at me in my eyes, my real life eyes, and you were like, Finland is fake, I'm like, book a plane ticket and tell me when you get there, because, like, what are you talking about?
That's the thing, is, like, now, especially in modern days, this is so easily disproven. Like, 100%. You can immediately just go there.
Yeah. And You don't need to. Best part, you don't actually have to get on a railway and pretend to be Nokia phones to get there either.
You can just book a regular
You can just
flight,
get on a plane.
a commercial flight. Yeah.
Okay, 100%. If you believe that Finland is fake, you have fallen off the deep end and you are gone. That's. I don't even have anything to add to that. Like, going as far as being like, the fish exports from Finland come with the Nokia phones in disguise. No.
See, to me, this one is boring. Like, I'm putting it
That
B
is
tier because I'm just
boring.
like, this is so easily disproved. Like, you just, like,
Yeah.
no thoughts, head empty.
Well, that's what I mean by, like, if you believe that, it's either you are so far off the deep end or empty head, no thought. And it is boring. I'm like, you couldn't come up with anything more interesting than Finland is fake? Are you for real right now?
Like, why, Reddit? Why?
Why? Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, let's spin for our last theory.
Okay, you won't hear anything because I apparently broke the wheel, but it'll be spinning. Wow.
Just pretend you hear spinning.
Oh, yeah. Okay, number 3.
The moon doesn't exist.
Okay, I've heard this one before. Alright, let's hear it.
So now the origins of this one are unknown. It seems like it started in a few different places, and the theories have started to kind of merge together. Mm-hmm. However, the main place I found this theory stemming from has been brought up within the flat earth conspiracy theory community.
Ooh,
The
wow,
flat
shocking.
earthers, moon doesn't exist, they're shaking hands.
It's actually the same club, you see. You think you're going to a moon is fake convention, but it actually is just a flat earther convention.
Basically. So, Dave Marsh, a well-known flat earther, said that the moon is a projection. He said, quote, "The moon is a projection put there for a reason which we could study for 1,000 more years and never understand," Dave told The Guardian in 2018. To arrive at this conclusion, Dave followed the path of the moon in the sky in order to compare his findings to official records. Because his findings were not the same, Dave determined the moon was a scam. Allegedly, the moon is also a hoax because it was created to distract the general masses from the existence of Nibiru, a rogue planet that will cause the apocalypse, which is also a very popular flat earther thing.
For real?
For real.
I literally know nothing about flat earthers, so... What?
Oh my god. It's a whole thing.
Amazing. Okay.
So for me, this one just immediately...
flat.
For me, this one immediately just has to go into D tier. You know, like, it's part of flat earth. It's going in flat earth.
It's kind of like the last one we did, where it's 100%, if you believe this, that's cuckoo bananas, but also kind of boring. Like, what do you mean you're trying to tell me the moon is fake? Like, what?
It's a scam.
It's a scam. But
because
like,
he did science wrong. It's a scam.
that's the thing. Or like, Kate, they literally have the moon drawn in paintings from a bajillion years ago. You're going to tell me that they faked the moon back then too?
They had projectors back then,
the
you know?
cavemen, you know, they just threw those rocks up so high, they eventually bound together in the atmosphere and became the moon. I don't know.
Well, whoa, Emily. Gravity's not real either.
That's too much. That's too unbelievable. What? No.
So, yeah, those are our theories for today. I just thought this would be a fun little break from what I usually do, which is tell really depressing stories.
Oh, that's fair, and I kind of appreciate it, because I feel bad sometimes, because I feel like I do get to cover a lot more of the lighthearted, kind of fun-sounding stuff. So I'm glad that we got to do something that's still kind of neat, like conspiracy theories, because, wow.
We could probably, like, if you guys like this, we'll do another one of ranking these, because there are millions of wildly unhinged theories that people believe for some reason.
Well, I thought I'd heard a lot of them, because, like, I did go through a phase where I was just kind of curious about, like, conspiracy theories in general, just because some of them are really interesting, But, like, the ones you told me today, like, the royal family being vampires, and Young-suk being Princess Diana's reincarnation, I don't know, man. Like, I like to say that, you know, I'll give the benefit of the doubt for a lot of things. I would love these ones.
I would love if you did like a full-blown episode on Queen Elizabeth being a cannibal or the royal family being vampires. Like, I would be 1,000,000% down for that. I feel like that would be perfect for spooky season.
For the amount of theories that I know exist about them, I'll do some research. I'll see if I can actually get enough material to make an episode, because you're right, that would be really fun to do like a themed royal spooky episode about stuff. Because there is a few things I've seen like over the years about, like, you know, the kind of creepy things the family gets up to. So that could be fun.
I think it's in the cards for the future.
We'll see. I got him in minutes.
Well, if it's not, then the moon just doesn't exist.
And that's a fact. Yep.
It's a scam.
It's not out there.
They scammed us with their moon projections.
We've been scammed by the moon. What else is new?
Just can't do anything these days without getting
it's
scammed.
False advertising on Facebook. Then it's the moon. When are you not being scammed?
Literally. Can't do anything nowadays.
I can't. Yeah, well, if you liked today's episode, please make sure to leave us a review on wherever you're listening to our podcast. 5 stars is, of course, greatly appreciated. We also have our website, which is www.wheelofcrime.com, if you want to check us out on there. We also have our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, if you'd like to check us out there. We have our Patreon, if you would like to donate to the show, which is at Wheel of Crime on Patreon. And we have our email, which is wheelofcrime@gmail.com, if you would like to send us an email on there. And besides that, we also have our Google Docs still up and open on all of our social media stuff. If you want to submit a story, maybe you have your own conspiracy theories you've heard of. Maybe one of the conspiracy theories you heard today you believe is true and you want to tell us why you think so. Make sure you submit that into our Google Doc and you might get a feature on our next listener episode.
Yes, that's it. That's all. And we'll see you next week for another new episode. Okay, bye.
Bye.